Hello and welcome to the Gold Advantage on the Best3 Network, where we are covering the LCS today, recapping an exciting weekend of playoffs where I think we had a maximum, there's like 20 games, possible maximum amount, and we had 19 out of 20. So crazy weekend, good upsets, some good leagues, some bad leagues.
Three BO5s.
Three BO5s, like full on, and one 4.
Yeah.
So it was
and
hectic.
The one that went 3, we had the score line.
Yeah.
Just the wrong way.
There we go.
I mean, dude, got maximum League of Legends this weekend. Absolutely wasted my weekend between that and golf. It was unbelievable.
Surprised you had time for golf.
Dude, yeah. It's insane. Like, it felt like there was no match that wasn't going to go 5 maps. I don't entirely know why that was happening. It felt like there was a ton of inting, which you don't want to see out of teams who are in the playoffs. I don't know. But at certain points, like some of those best of 5s, I was like, this team is still fully in control of winning this series. 100 Thieves. But like they're just not winning it right now.
Well,
I don't,
look,
like,
we can.
I don't think 100 Thieves is never going to lose that
I
series.
agree with
I'm not going to lie to you.
I just think TL had some. Well, fuck it. Let's just do it out of order. 100 Thieves, TL. Let's start with that one. Best.
It's
awesome
the best.
series.
It's the best match of the weekend.
Oopsie.
Buy 'em up.
Whoops.
Actually, I don't know, dude. I mean, if you want entertainment, go watch XL
that
Fnatic
shit
back.
was
That shit was crazy.
Shit depressed me so much. But the
it was terrible league, but awesome.
100 Thieves played really well the first 2 games, and then I just thought TL actually adapted really well. I was really impressed by like bringing out Zilean, bringing out the Swain, the way they kind of. I also think 100 Thieves kind of got a bit complacent. I will say that. Game 4, a lot of people are shitting on Closer's Vi, but that was just like an awful comp to play Vi into. Like that Vi is like diving into a death ball, and he's never gonna live from that. But that game 5, what a game! The game 5 out of Closer, and then like Ssumday through the series, I was like, this team is fucking incredible. How clutch that is! Like, Closer is the definition.
You
know
how hard it is.
The Lee Sin play was
unbelievable. I mean, like every single time. You hear the casters and they're just like, "Oh, how the fuck does he find those angles?" Like, and they obviously keep it PG.
I'm also.
I mean, it's insane. Like, it's insane engaged. But like, I mean, you talk about. I don't know. The way I view this is kind of. I kind of view this like. The reason I say that is, like, I watched this series. 100 Thieves is so in control of maps 1 and 2, and then I feel like they got pocket picked out of map 3, like almost. Not even just Bjergsen, but also Bwipo, and he kind of did it for 2 straight games.
Who did he play in game 3?
Urgot.
No, did he? Was it game 3? Then
Who,
that
Bwipo?
Urgot wasn't that great. I didn't think that.
Urgot and then Set.
The Set was good. The Set was like. That was dirty.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I think they got pocket picked out of a couple games and they just weren't ready for it. And then right when it got back to like kind of meta comp situation, like they were perfectly comfortable to win that series. I also think that TL could only pocket pick for so long. Like it's not going to work in game 5. I don't think. Like the Zilean
I don't think so. I think
work there, even though Bjergsen's like pretty famous for it.
Into the Zilean, which were pretty rookie mistakes, and it's just because you don't play against Zilean. So there are things that like he's a weird
Zilean also
in that he does certain things really well, and you need to be careful about not falling into those things. And so long as you're not doing that, you can beat him.
Yeah, it also, I mean, it worked pretty well in the LEC too, and for Jensen. Like, I mean, across the board, that pocket pick, winning games. But I don't know, it was just electric. I felt like 100 Thieves was never out of control. I was like, they're gonna lose the next 2 maps and still win this.
I'm just glad mentally they did. Mentally,
it never felt like it wasn't their series.
That was great. They looked like they were having fun. Ssumday and Closer played out of their minds. And I think the rest of the team also played really well, but they just really stood out.
I would also just like to comment on Huhi as a Seraphine is just. I don't know if it's ban worthy to be targeting Huhi, but like his talent on Seraphine is just so good, and
unbelievable.
To give that and to let that through, and it's a champion that routinely gets picked right now. Of course, you can't ban everything, but to let that sneak through, and obviously You see Hansama take it in the game 4. Died a little bit, but like, look, Seraphine is just so OP at the moment, and to let Hui have it, just huge mistake.
That Seraphine center lane is just so good. They're so good at it. I will say FBI's center ults, he's playing on a delay. It's like he's playing on high ping. There were a couple of things where it was his teammate dies, center ult comes through, and it was like there's a few times I was like, "Ooh, buddy, what are you doing? You gotta speed that up, old man."
I'm sorry, FBI is so far, which. Looking at the statistics, and Nikki, I know you know the game a bit better than more in depth than me, but like unquestionably, like, and this has felt like this, I think, for the better part of the year. It's like, does FBA have a good game? Sure. His map 1 game was fantastic, but like, you cannot be having FBI having 0 kills, and he did that multiple times against this team, and so.
I mean, they kind of got completely.
Yeah,
pushed
I don't know.
Game 5, like 0 how
many assists though? How many assists?
15.
Yeah, so no, that just means other people are cleaning it up. That's
Game 4, 0 kills, 5 deaths, 6 assists.
Yeah, but Game 4 was a stomp. Game 4 was
it's
when
hard to
Bwipo
be a
played
support.
Bwipo played set, yes.
Yeah, he nearly died so many times, and Set is like the guy, and then he would suddenly haymaker
9-0-11.
Yeah,
9-0-11.
exactly. Yeah, so I feel like
scoreline.
I think so long with the amount of assists he was getting, it's just his team is kind of cleaning up, as opposed to him cleaning up. So if he wasn't getting 15 assists, I'd be like, yeah, I agree with you. I don't know if I would say the bot lane. The bot lane has been good, but not at the level we expected them. I'd put Huhi in with that. I think both of them were a bit.
Well, there's been some pretty good bot lanes this weekend. So
all right.
It's extremely hard to be an ADC, but I want to close this out with this. I watched that match, thought they were in control the entire time. It reminded me a lot of last year's summer. So. It seems like they have the same chip on their shoulder that they had after the split last summer, and it seems like they're not fucking around. So
I'm with you on that.
I'm big on
okay, let's talk about.
Sorry, just one thing because this will become relevant.
Go.
Hansama is still just absolutely electric, and I look for him specifically, to just be popping the fuck off.
He plays really the way they win games.
He's so. Even when they don't win, he's the one that you look at the scoreline and you're like, you know what? You know what's going on.
Right now, I'm on the TL side of things. Bwipo, no answer to the Aatrox, which got shouted out constantly, so no need to rehash that. But he was struggling there. And I would also say Bjergsen. Bjergsen was like, not bad, but just I didn't feel like he was good.
He's old.
So I think those are two. But so if I remade the roster, it's like Santorin, Core JJ, Hans, but actually, so like this was something before we kind of dived into it faster than I had the chance to say it. Like there's a couple of one fun fact. This is Jensen's 8th Worlds in a row. That is the most consecutive Worlds appearances ever. Like no one else. And credit where credit is due. Like the guy wasn't on a team loss split, so good for him. I think also one thing we didn't talk about last week, but how important these matches were, because the upper bracket matches Worlds decided who got into Worlds. So we now have Cloud9 and 100 Thieves qualified for Worlds. 100 Thieves, by the way, insane year. COD Winter Championships, Valorant going to Worlds, League of Legends going to Worlds. There's another one as well that I can't think of.
Nadeshot destroying Frosty.
Nadeshot destroying Frosty, going to Worlds. The org is like fucking doing incredible.
Nadeshot caught a body.
But then on top
Valorant,
so now we have TL.
We have going to Istanbul, but they're like last
they won the
qualifiers
to make it there. And the 100 Thieves Apex team came second or third in the World Champs as well with incredible comp. So, but more importantly, it's like now TL, the $10 million roster, or EG are not going to Worlds. And like either way, it's a fucking disaster because I'll be so disappointed if EG doesn't make it to Worlds, because I think like they did so well. They performed pretty well at MSI, and they seem to have improved so much from that experience at MSI. So I'm like, I would love to see how do they now compete again on a world stage. These players at the first
It's kind
Worlds,
of crazy.
but,
Again, like I don't need to rehash the fact that we enjoy the LCS playoff style significantly more. This should be
the LEC playoff style.
Sorry, the LEC. This should be points based. Yeah. EG should already be guaranteed basically going to Worlds just by the fact that they won they won the spring split. They went to MSI, and they, sure, make them beat TSM in order to qualify for Worlds. Like make them win one game to get enough points. But the idea that only the top 3 teams from championships goes to Worlds means why the fuck are we even playing in the spring? It doesn't even matter. And so, again, like, not to beat a dead horse that we continuously beat, but like fucking hell.
All right, well, talking about beating a dead horse, TSM versus FlyQuest.
Beat TSM. Don't touch it. It was obvious what was going to happen.
Great call on you guys. FlyQuest just massive regression, and then I think TSM look, solo is so pivotal. When they brought him on, it's like
high five, Chris.
That was really good. I also think the tactical sub was huge.
Yep.
So
that was awesome.
It was a great call out of them. But my God, FlyQuest.
I mean, this is.
I mean, at points it's like, hey, TSM threw shit at the wall all season and saw what stuck, and then eventually they were like, we'll do it one more time in the middle of a playoff game, and it worked. He actually got wrecked in the first game that he played, which was hilarious because I was reading like Discord chats and everyone's just shitting on him.
You called it out, and I was like, well, that didn't work out.
He bounced back.
And then all of a sudden, it really did work out.
Yeah, it was hilarious. But I mean, I don't know. FlyQuest, I said it the entire year. I stand by it. It came to be true, but they're so fucking
I don't think they're overrated, though. Like, what are they overrated by? Because everyone, I think 5th place, 6th and 5th place is like perfect for them.
It doesn't matter, though. I mean, like, I feel like a lot of people had them at like a 3-4 contender. Like, they could beat some of these teams, which is why they were in the upper bracket.
Lost to those teams.
But you not beating TSM in a best of 5 with the season that they had is literally shameful.
But that doesn't mean they're overrated. That's just like a horrendous collapse.
It does. They're a decent best of 1 team, and they are not a good playoff team. It's same story, 2 splits in a row.
That's a fair enough statement.
Overrated.
It's just it's a disappointing finish for someone like a Jose Diodio, an Afro Mu, and a Tukui.
I think it's a disappointment. I don't think they're overrated. I think they were.
I think Philip will
a 5th place team.
Philip will have a good time next year.
Yeah, I think they were 6th, 5th place team, who overperformed, and would end at each regular season. They would overperform at some point. People would get too hyped, then they would regress, and they would end the season exactly, basically where they deserve to be. 5th and 6th place. You're right that they did not do well. They're a bad playoff team. It's a shame. I just think it's unfortunately it leaves it. I think it leaves us, like you said, it leaves a sour taste after what could have. They should have beaten TSM, and then they should have lost the next one, and then it would have been like, okay, cool. There was a horrible tweet, by the way.
TSM
in
made
Game 3,
it scrappy.
There was a depressing tweet where some FlyQuest fan was like, "It's been blah 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 number of days since FlyQuest had won a best of 3, and that that streak ends here." And then they got and it was like, dude, why would you fucking tweet that? Like, that is just what a curse. That
well,
fan
what I would like
should
to
know. That fan should know it's his fucking fault or her fault.
I would like to give a special shout out to.
I hope they're not a viewer.
I like to give. I hope they are. Let them talk shit.
Yeah, I hope they are too.
I like to give a special shout out to Afromu though for Game 3 in that best of 5 series on the Yumi with a 1 death, 25 assists.
Super active champ.
There was 29 deaths or kills.
I mean, dude, it's Yumi. You just remove it from the game.
Not in Europe. They need to remove it because Mickey and Hyllisang can't decide who can't play that fucking champion. Even worse, like Mickey
actually
was so bad on that.
Annoying to watch.
If
that
you are
series.
interested in the LEC, we are recording an LEC episode right after this one. It will be uploaded on YouTube the day after this one. So please like and subscribe if you want to follow that. Now, CLG Golden Guardians. My read on this is Golden Guardians played their best League of Legends in the whole year. So they peaked in this series, and CLG played horribly.
And I was
like
very.
Dokla was
by the
horrible.
way, I was very nervous.
Mediocre.
I was
And
very.
Yeah.
I mean,
This was one that I was like, it wasn't like the 100 Thieves one where I was like, they're in control.
No.
This was one where I was like, they're in a car, there's a brick on the gas, and there's no steering wheel right now, and the brake's been removed.
I don't know.
Dokla figure out how to stop it.
Terrible.
So
I
out
thought
of character
Palafox
for
wasn't
him.
good. Kobe was saying that apparently the whole
team was not
org
that
was
good.
nervous, something like about going into this series as well. So anyway, they got through it.
I think they interviewed
but-
Palafox after, which was a hilarious interview. Just so awkward. And
I mean, FlyQuest should have been the nervous one, but yeah.
it was.
Okay.
Or it might have been contracts. I forget who they interviewed.
No, I think it was
but
Palafox.
Okay. And he was just like,
Yeah.
we won. That's all that matters. He was like, he was just like, we're on to the next weekend.
Yeah.
Dude, the TSM interview was also so funny because I think they did interview Tactical, and he was like, I was ready for it, but like we weren't sure the week before. Like he was like, it was definitely in play. If something went wrong, and then he like stopped himself because he realized that he was just shitting on his teammate.
I'm happy they're saying that though, because it's like they said the self-awareness. They're not like, yeah, we're fucking ready to win the league. It's like, no, we played terribly. I hope a better CLG turns up, but I am fucking concerned. I'm very concerned. I don't think CLG is getting that third world spot now.
I mean, it's like a very difficult read, right? Because C9 stomps them, and then they beat EG, and you're
C9
like, oh,
stomped them. It was
shit,
a back
C9's good, but then
Yeah.
it was back and forth series, but they stomped them in game 5. They beat EG, and you're like, what? Well,
Yeah.
okay, like maybe CLG had a reason to lose, right? But then they go and do that.
We haven't talked about it yet. We've vaguely mentioned it.
Well, the C9 EG one?
Yeah.
Well, I was trying to keep us at 12 minutes, 10, 12 minutes. We're now at 17.
That didn't work.
B&B was like, Scoot's like, I have opinions. And B&B was like, oh, this is going to be 20 fucking minutes. And right on the money. All right.
Okay, I mean,
CLG,
here's the good thing. Go look at the betting lines for the
C9
matches
EG,
this week, and then you'll see why it's a good thing that we're talking about this.
Obviously, massive upset there. But
shocking.
One thing that's
Shocking.
crazy, EG picked this.
Bot diff.
EG didn't want to fight TL, so they took C9 because they were like, they're the easy ones. And then they lose 3-1 pretty decidedly.
Not even
this is
decisively.
This
It wasn't
is
even
a
Yeah.
This is a story of a bot lane that grew up this entire season in Berserker and Sven, and they're playing very, very well. And the interviews afterwards are honestly scary for my prediction for 100 Thieves to win.
The whole team was playing really well.
The
Like,
split.
Fudge was playing well. We started seeing
they're
like
playing
old school
insane.
Blaber, Jensen stepping up nicely. Like he's been inconsistent. He was doing pretty good. I think just the whole like,
But to win
across the board, and Berserker was playing insane.
But to win it in the current meta, to win though, your bot lane has to be on point. And what Berserker is saying about Sven, and like he knows what I like to play. He's also seeing the same exact lines as me, and like we're just going. And that is a very, very scary thing to queue into if you're not.
I think C9. But,
I don't know, man.
apparently
I don't
the
know what
funny
they're gonna
thing
do.
is, like this growth has literally been in 1 week.
Yeah.
Because Blaze Olive was talking about like how last week they played with scrimming and C9. They were like, they're not playing like this, and it's clicked, and now this is the C9 we thought might appear, and like one hell of a vindication for Jack and the org after dropping LS, dropping Summit, bringing Jensen back in, role swapping Sven, and it's like, hey, we're in Worlds now. Like fuck all of you other guys. We're the second team, and like that's that.
I think the really surprising thing about this, and I know Jojopyun is still rookie, right? Like this is his first year up here. Yeah. Danny, it's his sophomore year, along with but they're playing at such a level that you thought they'd grown out of. and like they're making mistakes, and their team fights are not succinct.
Yeah.
Like it kind of reminds me a little bit. I know we'll talk about it, but like the Mad Lions, the way that they've been starting to play recently, like it very much to me mirrors that, where it's like these are teams or these are players that you have expected by their own fantastic play throughout the year, like they've earned the respect, who are now just kind of like playing out of sorts. And maybe it's playoffs, maybe that's what's getting to them, but like I was very disappointed to see like Vulcan sitting there as the veteran on the team. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, what I think going
honestly, this was the worst I've ever seen Inspired play.
Agreed.
He was horrible. I don't think it's a weird one with Jojo, and I think Azael mentioned this. Jojo didn't play bad. I think the Azir game was bad, but Jojo didn't play bad. But he didn't. But the team play was bad. Jojo's like team play was bad. So like in lane, he actually did okay. Against
his
Jensen.
Ahri wasn't that great either.
No, his Ahri wasn't good. Okay, so there's like two of them that were bad, but like his Lissandra was good. But then the second it came out of lane and the team play, it was really bad. I kind of like, because of that, because it was like a team play issue, and Inspired was so bad. And because Inspired is bad, Jojo's bad. And Vulcan and Danny were just like not synced up. I'm just saying this was either they overlooked it or this was just a bad day. Because it's so like,
I think it's
so out of sorts.
Yeah.
It's so out of sorts from the rest of their, they're so good with team fights, whereas this whole series, like, normally they shine in team fights. They look terrible in team fights here. So
Disjointed.
It's so out of sorts that I'm like, okay, you know what? I don't think they're a bad team. But the problem is that mental, whatever that has led to this bad performance could continue.
And luckily,
dude, but I mean, C9 put them on the back foot.
Luckily,
constantly.
they have just the right opponent to fix this. So, I think we'll have a.
Better not overlook them, because they'll make the game scrappy.
Yeah. Well,
we know that.
To be honest, it's not it's not TSM that I'm worried about. It's the TL matchup afterwards.
No. I know, but I'm saying you're gonna have the TSM match to kind of fix whatever's going on. Like that's.
All right.
You guys really don't think TSM's going to Worlds, do you?
If TSM goes to Worlds, I'm gonna be depressed. All right, TL versus CLG. First matchup of the week. I just kind of straight up gotta say, I thought Team Liquid just looked better. Like the way they adapted, the way they played as a team individually, than CLG did. And and I am concerned about CLG's performance, and especially like the way the players talked about it after kind of tells me like, oh shit, okay, you guys are aware that something's gone wrong. So I'm
I think that CLG though is a team that plays up and down to the level of their competition, right? And this very much what I remember being on mini soccer teams like this, where you play a great team and you guys are fucking clicking. You just get up for it and you kind of get locked in a bit more. And it's the games when you're playing not as good of opponent that are way harder, because you're just like, you kind of get sluggish. You're not even excited to play them. You're like, we should roll over. So you're not, the warm up's not as crisp. The practices aren't as crisp. All those things, right, that feed into it. I think CLG TL is going to be a much closer game. So a couple bets that I am particularly fond of. I love the over 4.5 at a crisp 3.10.
Yeah, I think that's great. Yeah, I really like that.
I agree with you.
It's just such a good thing to take a taste on. I expect this to be a bit more of a 3-1 Liquid, but I could absolutely see CLG taking this the distance.
Wait, sorry, you have under 4.5 maps?
Over 4.5.
Over 4.5. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Over 4.5 is at 3.10.
Yeah.
You could pick the TL 3-1 as well, because I don't think you're.
I like
the
CLG
I actually 3-1.
I like the -1.5 on TL at 1.8. I think that's a good one.
But you might. But I think you can. I think CLG, no matter what, gets one map. I think they're just scrappy enough.
I think
Right,
CLG
so you take
gets
the
2 here.
3.40 with
At
Liquid
least.
3-1, and you take the over 4.5 at 3.10, 1 unit each. You're giving yourself a nice little. You're just hoping not for a 3-0 or.
I'm taking CLG plus 1.5 at 2.03. I think that's solid, and it gives you the chance that CLG maybe comes away with a ridiculous victory. But I also feel like I don't know. I get your point about they walked away from that match and they're like that just those interviews are like that shouldn't happen. But at least they're not like sitting there talking to a reporter like, oh, we just played terrible to XYZ. Like, there's a certain amount of realism that, like, we're not going to let this happen again. Like, they laughed it off to a point. They were like, we played like shit today. This isn't going to happen. I do agree with Chris to a certain extent that they do play up and down to the level of their opponent, although they have stomped some bad teams this year. It for me almost feels like there is a way to draft against Liquid that will give you a good opportunity to win some games. And I think you've got to pick on one of the carries in Santorin or Hansama and then try to neutralize it.
And I think that's part of one of my concerns is that CLG plays this kind of chaotic, high-tempo style, and they do play up, but going against what is arguably the most controlled team in league, and and especially early game, they're so good early game TL, and I don't know that CLG's gonna match up into that well. I don't think stylistically TL is going to give them those advantages. I think they'll take the lead, but then maybe CLG just says never say die, and they just throw themselves until it works, and it works a couple of games. I just don't know if it can work. Can it work 3 out of 5?
The thing that concerns me is it feels like CLG never knows how to finish a game. They actually have a pretty good mid to late game rating.
Yeah.
But it feels like they're kind of waiting for like every tower, every inhibitor. Like they're very kind of like methodically going through. If you look at their average game time, you have 36.7 minutes. Like that's just a long fucking game. Whereas Team Liquid, you have 30 minutes, dead even. And it just, like, you watch maybe I'm harping a little bit more on the CLG versus GG games, which aren't necessarily the best games to focus on, but it felt like every time that they were getting close, like, there could have been ways for them to win quicker, and they, like, wouldn't. And you're like, what the fuck are you doing? Just end the game. Like, why are we waiting on this?
Yeah.
And so that also concerns me, because on the flip side, Team Liquid knows exactly how to end a game. They're going to be doing, they will fucking kill you, and then they won't even do an objective. They will go straight down and fucking kill your tower, whereas it feels like CLG kills you, then make sure they complete all the objectives, then make sure that they're all perfectly aligned, and then they'll try and take your base.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, but the thing is, TL is also bad at closing out their games.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, TL's made some really bad late game mistakes. I think the point on the CLG side is that they want to show this maturity to like sit there and wait a game out instead of like making. I think like some of the mistakes you'd expect out of some of the people on their roster, which is over pushing a tower into a fight where you get rolled over, lose a neutral, something like that. Like you just don't want that to happen. So
yeah.
It's almost. I agree with you. It's long, but it works.
I don't really. I agree with you. I think the over 4.5 maps is a good bet. I like the minus 1.5. The minus 2.5 at 3.36. I think it depends on how bad this issue is with CLG. They play like they played against Golden Guardians. I actually do think they get 3-0'd. If they have used this time to fix it and they know what the problem is, and this isn't a oh shit, we don't know what's wrong with us, or like something's gone terrible, and it's more of a, well, we had a bad read, or we were struggling with something, but we fixed it now. Part of that is that I'm slightly cautious to put too much money on this because I don't know what CLG is going to turn up. So I'd probably put more on the TL side, minus 1.5.
It's the Luger breakout game.
Just get my two
anything
bets.
else, guys?
My two bets.
Next one.
TL 3-1 at 3.4, and then the over. It kind of a little bit of a hedge with the over 4.5.
Okay. All right, next one. EG/TSM. Scoot, why didn't you kick us off with this?
Dude, I mean, you want me to say that TSM is going to win the
what you
series?
think?
You want me to do it? No, what the fuck? Come on. I mean, dude, like, TSM's all over the place. It should be an EG victory. Do I think TSM can get scrappy for a map? Yeah, maybe. And I think Solos looked good at points, so I'm excited to watch him play, but that's about it. I hate TSM. And I hope they lose. Not TSM like the players. I don't hate them. I do not like the org and the way they've handled things over the last year.
I'm with you.
So I'm partial.
Minus 2.5. One of these fucking playoff games has to go go 3-0, and I expect
esports.
I expect EG to come into this with their ass on fire and fucking light these guys up.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
They are I think
the minus 2.5 at 2.29.
We are forgetting how we got
that
here.
on EG, and I fucking love that.
Yeah.
To a point, we've forgotten because of the way they performed this entire split how we got to this point, but it is an entirely insane lower bracket run by EG. So I think if there's any team that is okay with being backs against the wall right now,
if you think it's going to be like the minus 1.5 or something, like if you think that there's a legitimate chance TSM wins a map, you can get TSM at plus 2.5 at 1.63, or take the over 3.5 maps and you get 1.69. So actually, that's the better bet.
Over 3.5 is probably solid.
1.69 for over 3.5 is really pretty good value.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay.
You don't.
I'm not. Yeah,
it's not great.
If anything, I would use that as a hedge.
It's likely they get 3-0'd. But
really, I'm all in on the 3-0 here, the 2.29. That's what I like.
I mean, if TSM wins this, we're going to have some very interesting conversations next week.
I don't know what the fuck is going on with NA. What a disappointment that would be. I don't really. I think TSM is. I assume Tactical's playing again. He's inconsistent. I don't think the bot lane matches up to EG's bot lane potential. I don't think Maple matches up. It's just like one match for TSM where they beat a bad FlyQuest team, bad playoff FlyQuest team, does not make me go, oh shit.
You said it yourself.
Oh shit, and like they won it exactly. Solo is the rock for them, and he's performing really well for them, and Speaker is still a great jungler, and so I get it, but it's just I don't see EG. I feel like even EG on a bad day can still beat TL. And if they can't, then I don't see this EG roster staying together past this year, which would be a real shame. Because I think 100 Thieves, it's like, 3 years now? They've shown us what a roster that plays together for a long time, that trusts each other, the chemistry, and I think EG is a team that also could do that. And it would be a real shame to see them split up.
I mean, is 100 Thieves not still mostly that Golden Guardians roster they acquired?
But now they've been on. It's like
3 out of 5.
4 out of 5. Then Ryoma got replaced, and now it's 3 out of 5. But even this 3 out of 5, they've been together for so long with Ssumday in the top lane now. I think it's actually 3 years just on, or this is the 3rd year just with 100 Thieves. So, it's huge. 100 Thieves Cloud9. I mean, this is a close one.
No.
Dude, it scares me a little bit because I have 100 Thieves winning playoffs, and I still stand by that. I do think that there's a chance that Cloud9 could send them to the lower bracket here because I think they're matching into, like you guys said it before, 100 Thieves is a good bot lane, but it's not one of the greatest. And
it has
bot lane from C9 is kind of finding their stride.
One of the greatest, but they are now, but they haven't been playing like that, and that's concerning. But I'm still sticking to the 100 Thieves. I just think that they're kind of a little bit of the counterpoint to what I just said about TSM is that C9 had one good series, like a really great series. I'm not denying that. They looked incredible, but it's still only one. Are they going to be able to carry that over against a bit what I think is the better team at the moment? Or fine, or at least a more prepared team, because I wouldn't be surprised if EG overlooked them. EG might have been like, "Oh, we can sleep."
There's no
I do kind of
way
agree with that.
EG was over.
I mean, they picked that side of the bracket for a reason.
You're not overlooking C9.
I think
I'm
you
sorry.
are. They were 5th place.
I think too.
Like,
I mean, dude,
no.
C9 didn't look like incredible.
I think they
against
might have
Seals.
gone in a little bit casual. But okay, but even denying that, like 100 Thieves now is 100% prepping all week for C9, like in detail. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
I honestly am surprised to hear you wavering. I mean, look, I get it. Cloud9 had a great series against EG. Fucking phenomenal scouting. Knew exactly which champs to play. Very impressive win, unquestionably. Before any of this, we were consistently on the discussion of who's the best team in league right now. And Nikki, you were adamant it was 100 Thieves. I was kind of more so in the EG camp. Looks like I am wrong for the time being. You were adamant that it was 100 Thieves. And they have done nothing to suggest otherwise.
Yeah.
Not a single thing. In fact,
and I think playoffs is
they
all
beat
about
TL
clutchness.
in a way where, as Scoot already said on this podcast, never felt in doubt. Like, they had 2 games, but like, they never really felt in doubt.
They bookended it. They opened it with a deathless game where they just crushed them, and then they outskilled them. And what they did, it's a mind game. They gave them a little bit of hope in between to fuck with them because they took a lot of shit. Apparently, they don't. They're happy to. Yeah.
So my point is, all of this is for me to suggest, do not be swindled by the Cloud9 performance. I fucking love 100. I'm ready to stack this, to completely honest with you. I think I want 100 Thieves money line for 5 units. I want 100 Thieves minus 1.5 at 2.63 for 3 units. And I do want 1 unit on the minus 2.5 at 5.31.
So I love that. What I will say, actually, I was going to shout out the money line, and I was going to say the minus 1.5 at 2.63. But my favorite bet is the over 4.5 maps at 2.82. I think this is
so
a 3-1,
concerned.
3-2. So I like the minus 1.5. I love the over 4.5 maps. I think that is a great bet. But I will say that C9 looked really good. So I'm still on the 100 Thieves train. I still think...
That's
but
my
the
point.
thing is that when I look across the board, I'm like, Fudge looked great, but Ssumday looked incredible. Blaber was looking decent. Blaber looked decent, but he didn't have the best games. And you could say it's because
he's playing Sedge
Olaf, his carry.
Yeah.
And he did not... But
on the 4th map, but he was playing Sedge map too. We could also say
that Berserker took over, and so he didn't need to, so that's fair enough. But closer,
that's my problem.
Is that straight into that, no problem. And Abadage is playing like the best mid laner, and Jensen has been inconsistent. So,
listen. I want to be very clear here. I still stand by my taking 100 Thieves to win the entire thing, which I've had since the beginning, and here we are. But it is a problem for me that C9 just walked into an EG map and shit-stomped what was probably the best bot lane this entire regular season, with a bot lane that was generally unimpressive up until this week. And if you're 100 Thieves, you have to look at that and be like, okay, we need to figure out how to neutralize Berserker because that's how they're going to win games. 100%. And you're immediately banning into that.
They're playing well, but not so well that they can stop. So if Berserker, Cloud9 wins through the bot lane, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, same as TL, but
this series, the way that Cloud9...
I don't know. I think there's potential. The way that Cloud9 wins this, but it's going to have to be creative, in my opinion, because 100 Thieves is going to go after Berserker. I wouldn't be surprised if they auto-ban Zeri.
It's a funny thing, because the thing that gives me more confidence in 100 Thieves is the final season's match against TL, where they were down like 5k, and they just knew what they were doing, and they held on, and they won the match. In this series, like game 1, like they knew how to execute the early game, got it such a lead, and they never let off the gas. Games 3 and 4, fine, I totally understand that. But the thing is like mentally, like you said, they never checked out, and they were always like, we can win this. And then and I think that clutch play is so important in playoffs. Like we talk about playoff teams and like rising to the moment, and I think 100 Thieves is that team 100%. So when you're looking at a game 5, I believe more in 100 Thieves than I do Cloud9. But I am concerned
100%.
that, you know what, I think Cloud9 is, if they have another series like this, I think that,
I mean, dude,
I think we see them over EG in the finals.
What would scare me is if they open
World Finals,
this series with like a pretty hardcore Draven draft around Berserker, and they absolutely shit stomp on Thieves. Like that is where this gets scary, because one, that is a lot of confidence, and two, you're coming off a red hot winning. But to be fair, like that is, you're soaring.
And the problem with, like, I think with Cloud9 is that you have so many carry players. You have Berserker, Blaber, and Fudge, who like Fudge. You know, like you can't. It's not like Bwipo, who doesn't have an answer to Aatrox. Fudge completely smashed with the Camille. He smashed with the Fiora. So he can carry the team. So I can definitely see that. But the counterpart to that is everyone on. Everyone on 100 Thieves can also do it, and they've been doing it longer.
I mean, Ssumday's probably MVP
Exactly.
outside
He
of
is,
Inspired. And I think 100 Thieves. I think 100 Thieves player to player is a better roster across the board. Don't get me wrong. I just think that,
and Abadage is, I think he was the best mid laner in NA this season.
It's just to simplify everything that's been said. It's pretty much that I think C9 had a pretty tough split throughout the entire split on their bot lane, and then last week they just showed potential that was up to here, and I think it's higher than 100 Thieves with their bot lane. Like I think they have a higher potential bot lane.
I'm not unhappy about them going to Worlds, to be fair. Because I will say,
no,
like,
I like this team at Worlds,
Jensen,
honestly.
Domestic performance always was less than Bjergsen's, but his international performances were always better. I think Fudge internationally and Blaber's had some fucking brain dead plays, so hopefully he doesn't have that. But but I do think that Berserker, I don't know. I think this is a good team that could make it. So we'll see. So just to reiterate, I love the money line on 100 Thieves. I love the -1.5 at 2.63 on 100 Thieves, and I love the over 4.5 maps at 2.82 on 100 Thieves. I do see how you can bet everything else on Cloud9 though. 1.97 on Cloud9 is great. You take a -1.5 for Cloud9 is 2.87. That is very good. So
don't burn your money. Cloud 100.
I do like 100 Thieves money line to be clear on my pick here.
Lock money line.
Yeah.
Love.
But would I realistically mind?
And like -2.5.
All right, there we go.
I really wouldn't mind 100
like
Thieves dropping to a lower
Nikki.
bracket and playing C9 in the final revenge.
You know what
game.
I will
like,
say?
that would be lit. And also, EG needs to make it. Like, if EG doesn't make it, I'm going to be very upset.
Scotty, you know who did make it? You and me. We'll fucking be there. And we will be...
we'll be there, baby. We did, and we'll be in the room.
Have already punched their tickets to United Airlines, to the United Center.
United Center. United Center.
Just like Scoot and Blivs. We are fucking ready.
Yeah, we'll be there. You want a hoodie? Follow us on Twitter. Subscribe,
YouTube, comment.
Leave a comment, tweet at us. Be like, I want a hoodie.
Literally,
I'm going to be there.
Tell us you want a hoodie.
I'm a huge fan.
Yeah,
Here's
but
there's
going to be caveats. You got to be subscribed. You got to comment, like some videos, all that good stuff. Join our Discord.
There definitely will be caveats. If you come up to me and you're like, oh, I want a hoodie, and you don't have, you're not subbed and you're not in our Discord, you're getting... No, I'm not going to hit anybody. I'm not hitting fans.
And will Scott be wearing... Will he be wearing a tuxedo? Who knows? Maybe.
Gonna be in the media room. Might be in a tuxedo. Who knows?
All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. This
I'm
is
a wild
the
card.
LCS episode. Tomorrow we will be uploading the LEC episode covering everything happening in Europe. Thank you for listening and supporting us. If you aren't already, please find us on socials under Bo3 Network everywhere and subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. And we will see you all next week.
Well, and we're going to do a
standalone. Scoot and I doing a standalone episode to cover the matchup that will be decided after the TL. Yeah, probably EGTL. So this weekend. All right. Bye, everyone.
Toodaloo.
Peace.